Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Monkey Wrench. I'm Kelly, the monkey with the wrench. Today we're going to make a pretty short video. I'm going to not do a whole lot of talking. Today we're working on this Craftsman zero turn, the ZTS 6000. But this video will be on any riding mower, any brand, anything that you're working on. We're working on a starter today. So here we have a starter, and the gears, the teeth on this plastic starter are all worn off and chewed off, and because of that I have got to change those gears. Now starters may look different, they might have different bodies, different brackets, different this, different that, but they all have in common this Bendix gear right here, this plastic gear on this one. I have a plastic replacement gear here. This was $5 or something. You can get them on Amazon. Make sure you get the one that matches your starter. This is a 14 tooth gear. The inside circumference of the gears are pretty standard. It's the outside and the amount of teeth on them that makes a difference. And we're going to test this one real quick. I have it hooked up. I have a 12-volt battery hooked up here. This is my motorcycle battery. I use it because it's easier than carrying around a big battery. Take the ground, stick it on the body. This will jump when you hit it with power, so hold on to it tight or clamp it down to your vise or whatever the case may be, and there we go. The gear kicks up when it spins, and that's all it's supposed to do. Now I know this starter is good, and this is the problem with that particular Craftsman, was that the flywheel had a plastic gear on the bottom of it, and the teeth all got knocked off the flywheel and the starter as well, and then the starter wouldn't turn the motor wouldn't turn over and start, and so the guy didn't want to fix the machine. He sold it to me for $1. I already put a new starter on this that I got on that particular machine that I got off of a donor motor with a new flywheel, but we're going to change this gear anyway. On the top of this particular gear is a little C clamp right there. It's a little C clip is what I'm thinking of. Now you don't need a special tool. You can usually take that off with a screwdriver, but keep your hand over it so it doesn't fly across the shop and you lose it. I'm going to take that off real quick and show you the rest. Now there's no particular easy way to get this little C clip off. I just use a screwdriver and get it in there and start getting it off. And then what you have, hopefully you can see that, is just a little C-clip. Don't lose that. It doesn't matter which way it goes on. Then this top comes off. Okay, make sure you look at it when you take it off so you know which way it goes. There's a spring that comes off. The spring is nothing special. Doesn't matter if it's upside down or not. And then the gear just twists off. On top of that also is a little washer, and in this case it's a curved washer and the curve goes up, so we're going to make sure of that. And this is how I took the gear off, so we're going to put it back on the same way. I'm going to look at this and I'm going to look at the new one and see that that matches that, and the bottom is different, so now I know which way it goes on. It goes on just like that. I'm going to drop that back on. You can spray a little lube on it if you want, but it doesn't need it. It's Teflon, and that's it. That's all it does. Put that spring back on there. You put this back on. Oops, yeah, the washer was underneath of there. Don't forget the washer. The washer was there, and that goes back down, and then you've just got to force your clip back on, which is always fun. And that may take a few minutes, but there's a little groove right there that you'll be able to see when you're doing it yourself. And once you get that thing to spread properly, remember, don't get upset with it and make it fly across the shop, because if you lose it, you'll be screwed. And this is a good way to salvage a starter that maybe the gear got messed up on, but the starter itself is still good. So instead of hurting myself trying to do that in front of the camera, I'm literally just gonna push that clip back down, push it in place, and I'll be right back. Okay, what I did, if you can see that clip is right there, and put that on, and what I did was I got a socket that matches that perfectly, and I'm just gonna use that. I might get a hammer. There we go, I got a hammer over there. I'm trying to do this gently without hurting myself or the starter. So put that on there, put that, give it a few taps, and work with it and see if you can get it on there. There we go. I'm gonna have to keep working it and work it till you get it on there. Okay, and I worked with it for a minute or two, and it seemed that the size 8mm fit it just perfect enough to get that clip to start down the wide side, and then I used a screwdriver and a hammer to tap it back the rest of the way, and it clips right into that little gear. Now to test it again with the new gear on it and make sure that you put that clip on correctly and nothing's going to go flying, we're just going to hook it back up to the battery, negative on the body somewhere, and touch it, and that's it. The gear jumps. Now the gear jumps higher than that, obviously. It'll jump all the way to the top when it's being used, but as it does that, it'll hit the flywheel and it'll climb up itself because it spins so fast, and the gear will actually climb up the flywheel, go all the way up into the groove, spin, then the flywheel spins past it and spins it back down, and the spring helps it stay down. So as long as everything's in place and nothing flies off, when you do it, you're in good shape. So we are in good shape. And the old gear, you can see, if I can get that close enough to the camera, is pretty gnarly, pretty worn down. So that's it. That's how you put a new gear on that particular kind of starter. There is one other style of starter, and one of these days I'll make a video on how that gear comes off. It's just as easy. Instead of a C pin, it comes off a different way. So as soon as I get one of those, I'll make it. Thanks for stopping by. Give me a thumbs up. It's right down there below the video. Looks like a little hand. Just click that for me. Make sure you subscribe on the way out the door. Thanks for stopping by. See you soon.